Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Podcast. There's being wrong, and then there's how wrong I was about Kyrie Irving on Thursday night. So let's get right into it, and I can eat all of the humble pie. I lost 1.2 units. Not all things terrible, all things considered, but I said Kyrie would get under 43.5 PRA. He had 44 P in this one with a 44-point game, double-double, all that kind of stuff. Knicks lost. They did not go under as there was 252 points. I'm done with the sides and totals for a while. I keep swearing off of them, but please jump in the comments if you see me pick another side and total for at least a week. Like, we are on a for sure week ban from taking any sides and totals. I haven't gotten one in the last four. I've gotten one, a team total, and I said to take the team total for the Thunder, but I didn't put it in a graphic. If it doesn't go in a graphic, it doesn't count towards the record. I can't just say it and fling things out there and say whatever I want, and then when it hits, whatever, I put it down as a win. Like, no, we're not going to do that. But I personally did bet that team total. That doesn't matter for this. Chet went under, which was wonderful because he was well on his way to getting over. I believe he had like 15 PRA in the first quarter, perhaps, and then only like got one or two in the second quarter, was doing well in the third, but they were already up by like 45, 50 points by literally in that Portland game, and which is the whole point of the under for Chet. So that hit because of that. Dante was a wonderful bet. He was one of the only Knicks that came to play for most of the game. So that was a really weird read for the Knicks, where it was like you were just the best defensive team, and then you literally got cooked by one guy despite having OG on Kyrie. We'll keep an eye on how these shorter scoring, slithery, really good shooting, pointish shooting guards do, right? Like, there's no Kyrie replica, but anybody that's like a really score first, like I can get to the rim. And honestly, I don't know. There's nobody like Kyrie that plays like him. So we'll just not fade Kyrie against the Knicks, because that's the type of player that definitely can beat them. So we are now still up 22.3 up on the Playa props. So that's what we're focused on here. I am going to have another video for you guys that comes out on Friday morning, from Friday morning Pacific time. It'll be early afternoon for you guys on the East Coast. And that's going to have a few more plays because we have 10 games on Friday. And so there's not that much going on actually in the lines right now. That's why I was only able to get 3 bets out here for you in tonight's video, 3 player props that I have for you as I record this late night on Thursday. So you'll have this in the morning. So you at least have 3 early plays. And I do like a couple of these plays early. So hit them if you see them in the morning, because I do think they're going to change in the direction which I think they're changing based on how I'm betting them. So we'll take a look at those. Before I even get to them, subscribe to the page if you like what you're seeing. Appreciate you guys following along. We're still up, like I said, 22 units on the props. Hopefully you guys stop following me on the stupid sides and totals anyway, so you're not losing the money that I am when I play those dumb bets. And I don't think they were dumb, but we'll move on here to the first bet that I have. And like I said, come back tomorrow for some more, and later today when you're probably watching this. Jalen Johnson over 25.5 points and rebounds. And this is one that I think is going to be pretty popular on all the social medias, and all your favorite touters, if you will, are going to be looking at Jalen Johnson in a matchup against the Pacers. Starting with the fact that everybody's going to look at the same stat that says that power forwards score more points against the Pacers than any other team, right? And I believe in that, and I'll continue to believe in that. Aaron Nesmith or not, or otherwise, like there's no good matchup for a guy like Jalen Johnson on this team. Jalen Johnson has established himself as, in my opinion, the second best player on this team after Trey. And if you want to talk about you being able to do it on both ends of the floor, he's just as valuable as Trey. Like, I'm a huge Jalen Johnson fan. I obviously talking with very high praise for him for a reason. Either way, he's in the top 3 in minutes and usage rate, right? Like, I'm basically saying he's better than DeJounte. That's the statement that I'm proclaiming, is that Jalen Johnson has surpassed DeJounte Murray as the second most important player on the Atlanta Hawks. He's now top 3 in minutes and usage rate. Only Trey and Murray have higher minutes and usage rate than him. When Bogdanovich is on the floor as well, when Bogey's out there, he's also getting a lot of shots up, like a few more shots than Jalen Johnson. But Johnson's very efficient. He's shooting most of his shots around the rim or from 3, and better around the rim. Just an incredible athlete with incredible timing and incredible touch around the basket, all in the painted area. So as Hubie Brown would say, in the painted area. So Jalen Johnson, someone you're going to continue to like in a matchup where, let's be honest, like if you're, like I continue to say, if you're an athletic power forward, and you're playing the Pacers or the Wizards or this Atlanta Hawks team, to be fair, it's about transition. It's about getting out into this open floor. And when you are like a good athlete who finishes around the rim like Johnson, against a team like the Pacers, who are, this game will be up and down. It's just going to be a lot more back and forth. The Pacers game against the Wizards was awful. Both of those teams were horrible shooting the ball. They were missing from all over the floor. I'm not crediting the defense of either of those teams, but I don't know if the Pacers are going to come along for the ride with this Hawks team. I think the Hawks might blow them out, to be honest with you, in this one. I think this is ripe for a Hawks big victory. But either way, there's going to be a lot of points. And I don't know if the Hawks are going to be able to limit even what the Pacers are doing without Tyrese Haliburton, because they're that bad on defense. Jalen Johnson, though, is going to continue to get rebounds, right? And I talk about the lack of offense for the Pacers because that increases the rebound opportunities for their opponent, which would be predominantly Jalen Johnson, who's been the best rebounder on this team since he came back from injury about 7 games ago. He's got 16 rebound chances a game, which leads the team more than Capella or anybody else, in part because he's out there for 34 minutes a game. And that's led to 11 rebounds a game since his return. So, like, if he's good for 11 boards, he's good for 15 points. The Pacers give up the most points per game to power forwards. I was just mentioning that. The second most rebounds per game or third most, rather, basically tied for second most to power forwards. And this is going to be one where, like, there's going to be, I think, a lot of shots. And I do think that the Pacers are going to miss a good amount of them because Tyrese Haliburton did help create a lot of open shots for his teammates, which led to them being able to score. So I hope there's no blowout that would ruin this for us. I don't think there will be, but even if there is, hopefully Jalen Johnson's able to get his, somewhere in the first 3 quarters. Like, I could easily see him going into halftime with nearly 20 points and rebounds combined. As I said, he is now the best rebounder on this team. And if you think Capella is always good for a double-double, then it looks like Jalen Johnson is going to continue to be an even better bet because we're getting good juice for him to get 26 PR in this one. I'm going to go with Steph Curry under again. And I do think that this is going to be probably around 26.5 because I think there's other people that are going to be on this line as well of 27.5 points for Curry and going under it. Right now, minus 115. You can still get that on FanDuel. I do believe some books are already juiced down to the 26.5 points. I'm going half a unit on this because I just got flamed by Kyrie Irving getting 44 points when I tried to get cute and bet against him. So I'm a little bit timid, and I'm not going to just start pulling the trigger. I also put 1.3 units on the Kyrie bet because I was that confident in it. God damn, I'm not going to live that one down. People are coming for me on social media, and like, that's fine. I can take it, man. We'll go there. If you are following along though and like making money and then talking shit, you're a terrible kind of person. But more importantly for this bet, Steph is playing the Alex Caruso Chicago Bulls. And we know what that means. We faded a ton of point guards, Tyrese Maxey, and a few others that were playing against the Bulls because you don't score that many points against the Bulls. That said, it's Steph Curry. That's also why I just keep putting like less than a full unit on certain Curry bets. The rebounds and assists are down to 9.5. And I've just hit that so many times in a row. It feels so dangerous. But the points, like, I've got to go for against Caruso, which we've talked about, right? Caruso is going to play high pressure defense on these guys and force them to get rid of the ball. The potential for them to get free throws is there. I can see Curry trying to get his way to the rim or, getting shots off in a clever way that forces fouls against Caruso. But it hasn't worked in the last 3 games when he's played the Bulls with Caruso on the floor. And that's why Chicago allows the fewest points per game to opposing point guards, which once again, Steph Curry is one of the few players that transcends any of the shit that I'm talking about. So at any given time, he could for sure go for 28 points. The numbers and the spot, though, tell us that this is not the game for him to have a bounce back. And he's going to. He's going to come back with a 36-point performance at some point in the near future. Probably when Draymond Green comes back, by the way, because in the games that Draymond Green has missed since the suspension, which he's eligible to come back, he's just working his way back into game shape or whatever. Like, when he does come back, Steph is better, right? In the last 15 games, he's only gone over this number like 4 times, right? Way more times under than over. Bad English, but you get what I'm saying. And that's been against worse defenders than Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso's only allowed someone to get 28 plus points on him in once in the last month, and that was Jalen Brunson in a really big, fast-paced back and forth affair between the Bulls and the Knicks recently, which was sort of the new look Knicks as well at the time, who were playing a little bit faster. So at any rate, I don't know that this one's going to go as fast in Chicago, which is where they also play slower and play better defense due to the Bulls. So we're going to go under the points for Curry. I think it'll be at 26.5 before noon Pacific time tomorrow, let's say. So I think it's a good bet to get in now. And we're going to go with an over from that same game because there are not that many games with full props up yet, like I said. So we're going to go with Vooch in this one, over 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's just been an absolute warrior crusher in the last 4, and this dates back to like 2021, but these are all with the Bulls. In his last 4 against the Nuggets, the Warriors, 26.5 points per game. Incredible stuff from him. He had a 43-point performance in there, 12 boards a game and 4 assists, right? The boards are actually interesting that he's gone under the 11.5 twice in the last 4, so it's 50% of the time that he's gone over and under the 11.5 rebounds where his prop is tonight. So it's pretty fair. I really am saying I like the points at 17.5 more than anything. And I might just talk about that in the video. I haven't hit that. I only put the 0.5 units so far on the PRA at this point. Like these 3 bets that I'm showing you are the ones that I've played. And I'm looking at a bunch of other stuff right now, but I don't have anything that I like concrete enough. But I might just go for the points by tomorrow morning. We'll see what these lines are at when I wake up and get to this stuff with you guys. But like, the 17.5 points is where I'm going with him. The Dubs give up the 6th most points to centers per game this season. They give up the most assists. And I also thought about the points and assists, which are at 20.5. But the thing about Vooch is he's gone over this a lot. If you look at his numbers as of late, he's gone over 3.5 assists a ton. He's getting 4 or 2.5 assists. It's juiced way down. It'll probably be at 3.5 assists by the time everyone's looking at this on Friday morning, because 2.5 assists over is minus 160, right? So it's just like teetering on the edge, and someone's going to tip it over with a bet that's like they're going to come in with a $1,600 or whatever, more than that, 10 grand, whatever, and put it on Vooch, and that's going to tip it right over for us to go to about 32.5. I'm sorry, the 3.5 assists specifically. For the PRA though, I like getting all of it in there. I like the ability for him to get the assists. It's just in the last bunch of games that he's been doing this, he's had like 4 assists a game on 6 potential assists. So that seems like it's due for some regression where you're not always going to continue to get that level of the high percentage of your potential assists turning into assists. We talk about that all the time. You usually look at about 50 to 55% of the potential assists turning into regular assists. And he's been going over at such a sort of anomaly of a rate that like you think it's going to come back to the norm, right, at some point before long. All that said, he's going to get a bunch of one of these at least, and that should make up for if he gets a few less than the rebounds, for instance, right? And the rebounds are going to be there though. Like we keep also targeting center rebounds against the Dubs, who since Draymond's been out are in the bottom 10, allowing rebounds to centers. So really good matchup for any center that's playing against the Dubs right now, especially an offensively capable one like Vooch. And last thing I'll say is you do worry about LaVine being back, but in the 3 that LaVine and Vooch have been back together, the last 3, Vooch still has the 2nd highest usage rate on the team, behind Kobe White, not behind DeMar DeRozan, in terms of usage rate for this Bulls team. So that's why I do like him to continue to get that usage rate in a matchup where it's like, why would you not go through your center? We just watched Jakob Poeltl be an offensive guru against the Dubs without really much of resistance down low, because as I keep talking about, Loon Dog, Kevon Looney, who I love and have been, touting since the last playoffs when it was like, take this man's stuff, rebounds and assists and all this stuff, not moving like the same guy. And Trace Jackson Davis just isn't there yet. So let's just close it out here with a best bet summary. Jalen Johnson over 25.5 points and rebounds. Steph Curry going under 27.5 points. Check back. If it's 26.5 points, hit me up in the comments. I'll let you know what I think about it as well, because I'm going to take another look at it in the morning with sort of a fresh set of eyes and see where we're at with his prop, which I think will drop on most books. So we'll come back to that one. But if you can get it at 27.5, take the under there. And Vooch, Nikola Vucevic, over 31.5 PRA. That might also rise up to 32.5, as a lot of books are doing that. So FanDuel might begin mirroring the other books and drop or raise this up to 32.5. Once again, check back with me then. I might, if it's there and the 17.5 points is still live, right, I might just hit the 17.5 points at that point, because that is the bet that I like the most of all 3 of those combo, the points, rebounds, and assists. As you can see, it says early Friday betting summary, because there will be a late Friday betting summary coming out on Friday around 11 a.m. or probably about 12 p.m. Let's be honest, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So give you guys about 4 hours before game time to see a few more bets that I have. Obviously, it didn't go as well when I put up the second video on Wednesday, but it's a big slate, and there's gonna be a lot more stuff that I'm betting. So I'm gonna put a video out about it for you guys, because that's what we do here. Subscribe to the page if you would. continue to follow along. Check out college basketball videos as well. It's on the channel. It's going to be Oaks' show. Burr Oaks, my homie, who's a very, very good college basketball bettor. Had a bad night the other night, but is still above 500, at least on our videos, and on the season, also nicely above 500. So fun dude to check out some college basketball videos if you want that. Continue to follow along, and until I see you next, happy betting.